much. I assume everyone can hear me? Perfect. I started debating in 2008 when I was a high school student. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Wow, he's old. And yes. Now I wasn't the kind of person you would think would be interested in debating. I was a very typical teenage boy. But my older brother used to debate. And he made it seem like debating was such a cool activity. So I thought to myself, you know what, I'll try it out. Maybe I'll make some friends, and who knows, maybe even meet a few girls. And so it was, I went to my first ever debate tournament, and wouldn't you know it, the first motion that came out was Taiwan should declare independence. And my first reaction was, independence from who? Unlike today, we didn't have smartphones in our hands. So me and my teammates ran around the campus and found an atlas. And from there, we tried to guess, oh, it must be independence from China. Suffice to say, we lost that debate. But nonetheless, something struck in me. During the closing ceremony, as we watched the grand finalists get up on stage, I wanted to be able to speak like them, to command the presence of a room just like this. And so I stuck to debating and improved slowly over time. Until it was that I had to go to university. And there, I met my good friend Nibras. Nibras was tall, cute, had a dimple, was the university's football star, and girls loved him. The only blemish was that he was a Liverpool football fan. I hear a boo, there's a Liverpool fan there. Nibras honestly looked like he couldn't hurt a fly. But all he wanted to talk about was football and girls. But one day he asked me, Mubarrat, why do you debate? And at that point, I honestly couldn't muster a good response. All I could say was, well, it's fun for me. And the conversation moved on. And in life, Nibras and I took different paths. I ended up moving to Malaysia to study at a different university. And the reason I chose that university was because it had a well-established debate club. People thought I was crazy to choose a university just for debating. But I was determined to make a mark in the world of debate. And there it was that I met my coach, who was a fellow Bangladeshi, so I called him Latif Bhai. Latif Bhai told me, Mubarrat, if you win a major international competition, you will be eligible for special scholarships in our university. And I chuckled. As ambitious as I was, I honestly did not think it was possible for someone like me to win a major international competition. But as it so happened, in my first year of debating, I managed to make the team for the university, and we traveled abroad to represent the university. And one of the first international competitions, I remember going to the washroom. And as I was in the stall, I overheard a conversation outside between two judges. And one of them said to the other, if I have to judge one more Asian team, I'm going to shoot myself. As I exited the stall and I made eye contact, I didn't say anything. I just left. But if I'm being completely honest, that prejudicial thinking was something that I had already internalized. I didn't think I could be as good as the European or the American debaters. But someone else did. See, Latif Bhai believed that I could be just as good, that I could belong to the upper echelons of the world of debating. And with that support structure, and blessed with amazing teammates, I was lucky enough to have achievements that were beyond my wildest imaginations. But something happened after. It had been years since I had talked to Nibras, and one day I woke up to a ton of messages on my phone. And they all read, did you know Nibras? Did you know Nibras? Did you know Nibras? Confused, I opened my phone and I tried to figure out what had happened. See, the night before, Nibras, along with a few of his friends, had walked into a cafe inspired by ISIS and had tortured and murdered over 20 people. I was distraught. And then I started thinking, could I have changed the outcome? What if I had answered him differently that day? What if I had made him interested in debating? Would he still have turned out this way? But there was no point in thinking about Nibras, and I had to move on. But one thing resolved in me, that day I realized that debating couldn't just be for my accomplishments, but that it was a tool for progress. And so it's not the trophies in my debating career that makes me the most proud, but a moment. Towards the end of my debate career, I found myself standing in the historic Cambridge Union. The motion was something that I was familiar with, and I gave a good speech. And as I was sitting down, from the corner of my eyes, I noticed a few people start to stand up to give me a standing ovation. And I suddenly realized that one of those people standing up was that very judge who had made that remark a few years ago. And that's why I debate. The same story would follow. After I left debating, initially I was working at a bank in Malaysia, but then the opportunity came to move to Qatar to become the coach of the national team here. And when I moved here, the Qatar national team had not even advanced ever to the knockout stages of the World Championships. So the global debating arena underestimated Qatar. But just last year, Qatar was officially ranked as the third best nation in English debating. But again, it wasn't the podium finish that made me most proud. It was the change in perception. It was knowing that elite debaters and coaches were intimidated by the prospect of having to battle Qatari hijabi girls in an intellectual, rigorous discourse. That's the bit that made me most proud. But even after all of that, something gnawed in me. And it was the DPSMIS debaters, to be honest. Every now and then, a DPS debater would come to me and say, Mr. Mubarrat, are there opportunities for people like us, the foreign students who are living in Doha? And to be honest, I never really had a satisfactory answer to that. And eventually I thought to myself, I have the connections to set up opportunities here. But again, doubt seeped in me. Who was I, a random Bangladeshi guy living here, to dare to think I could change the landscape of debating here? But eventually I decided to get over myself. And I left my cushy job and started my own debate organization. And so here I am. Now from this story, I hope to tell you 4 things. The first, don't be a Liverpool supporter. Just joking. Okay, now I have 3 things to tell you. The first is that when someone else believes in you, believe them. When an opportunity comes, grab it, even if you're scared to do so. The second, there will always be a narrative in society that tells you you don't belong because of what you look like, because of what you sound like, or because simply the color of your passport. But if you have the hunger, the desire, and just the right amount of I will show you attitude, you can achieve things that other people deem impossible. And finally, the third thing, when you get to those places where other people don't think you belonged, lend a hand. When a chance comes to you to give the same opportunity to others that was given to you, please do so. That is all. Thank you very much.